What if the person is begging you not to leave? Already knew where you would disappear. Rainwater crawled down the windshield outside the Graduate Library in Delaware. Victoria Harper sat alone beneath the dim parking lot lights, chewing Mentos gum while staring at 14 missed calls from her boyfriend. Then another call appeared. Christopher. 11:42 p.m. Victoria almost answered, but her hands stopped moving when she noticed him standing across the parking lot, watching her car. Not calling anymore, just watching. 3 weeks earlier, Christopher Vaughn had been the kind of boyfriend students envied. Late-night coffee runs, campus walks after midnight. His hoodie wrapped around Victoria during cold evenings outside the study hall. People said they looked permanent, but nobody knew what Victoria discovered inside his backpack. Small orange pill bottles, burn marks on foil, cash folded beside campus IDs that didn't belong to him. After that night, Victoria slowly disappeared from him emotionally. Not all at once, just little things. Shorter replies, locked doors, silent phone calls, different study buildings. She stopped letting him drive her home, and Christopher noticed every change. 3 days before she vanished. Jessica Monroe later said Victoria kept checking over her shoulder during study sessions like she expected someone to appear behind her. Sometimes her phone would light up, and she would instantly turn it face down. Other times she would chew Mentos so hard her jaw trembled. But the strangest part? Victoria never said she wanted to break up with Christopher. She said she wanted to escape him quietly, because she was afraid of what he would do if he realized she was already leaving. The final normal moment happened on a Thursday night. Cold air, empty campus sidewalks, vending machines humming inside the student center. Victoria had just finished a video call with her father, James Harper. Milo barked through the phone screen while Victoria smiled for the first time all day. 2 more weeks, she whispered. Then I'm done with this place. Those were the last calm words anyone remembered her saying. But one detail didn't add up. At 12:14 a.m., Christopher sent Victoria a message. Why are you hiding from me? But investigators would later discover something disturbing. At the exact moment that text was sent, Christopher's phone was already near the parking lot outside her building. Watching, waiting, and Victoria had no idea. The last person Victoria ignored was the one already following her. 12:31 a.m. Rain drifted across the empty campus roads while Victoria hurried between darkened buildings, clutching her backpack against her chest. Her phone kept vibrating. Christopher, Christopher, Christopher. She never answered. Earlier that week, Samantha Pierce noticed bruised skin near Victoria's wrist during a study session. Victoria instantly pulled her sleeve down, then forced a smile. He just gets emotional sometimes. That sentence stayed in Samantha's head after Victoria vanished, because it sounded less like love and more like an excuse she had repeated too many times. Jessica Monroe later revealed Victoria had started changing study locations every night without telling anyone. Not because she liked privacy, because Christopher kept finding her. Library basement, science building, graduate lounge, parking deck, everywhere. Always calm, always smiling, but his eyes never looked surprised to see her. The final message Victoria sent her sister Amanda came at 12:42 a.m. Not a paragraph, not a goodbye, just one sentence. If he asks where I am, don't tell him. Then the messages stopped. Completely. Her phone never connected again, but one detail terrified investigators later. At 12:47 a.m., Christopher's car was captured entering the same isolated campus road Victoria used to avoid crowded streets at night. And after that moment, nobody ever saw Victoria Harper alive again. By sunrise, Victoria's father realized something was terribly wrong, because for the first time in 2 years, she never called to say goodnight to Milo. James Harper sat awake in his kitchen, staring at his phone, while Victoria's golden retriever slept near the back door. Unread messages covered the screen. No callback, no voice note, nothing. The porch light stayed on anyway, just in case she called late. Meanwhile, Christopher Vaughn acted strangely calm. Too calm. He told classmates Victoria probably needed space. But students noticed something disturbing. He kept asking if anyone had seen her car. Not Victoria. Her car. Sarah Bennett entered Victoria's apartment that afternoon and immediately froze. Her backpack was gone. Her charger missing. But her favorite gray sweater still hung over the chair beside untouched study notes. And sitting near the notebook was an open pack of Mentos gum. Half empty. Exactly where Victoria always left it while studying. Then Jessica Monroe discovered something even worse. Victoria's location sharing had been manually turned off at 12:51 a.m. Victoria never turned it off. Ever. And investigators would soon uncover one chilling detail. Christopher's phone stopped moving for nearly 2 hours that same night, near a wooded service road outside campus limits in Delaware. Christopher kept telling everyone Victoria just needed time. But detectives discovered he drove somewhere that night he had never mentioned once. 2 days missing. Rain hammered the trees along a narrow back road outside Delaware while search teams moved flashlights through soaked brush. No sign of Victoria. No phone. No car. Just silence. The kind that makes people stop talking halfway through sentences. Then Matthew Holloway uncovered something unsettling. Christopher's car had paused near an abandoned maintenance trail for 47 minutes the night Victoria vanished. 47 minutes. Christopher claimed he was driving around to clear his head. But one detail destroyed that explanation. His phone never left the area. Not once. Main suspect, Christopher Vaughn. Jessica Monroe later admitted something she had hidden from police. 3 nights before Victoria disappeared, Victoria whispered, "If I leave him suddenly, he'll lose control." At the time, Jessica thought she meant emotionally. Now she wasn't sure anymore. That same evening, investigators searched Christopher's apartment. Inside a kitchen trash bag, they found dozens of chewed Mentos wrappers. Victoria's favorite. Christopher hated Mentos. Everyone knew that. Why were they there? Then detectives uncovered the most chilling detail yet. One of Victoria's earrings was discovered beneath the passenger seat of Christopher's car. And Christopher suddenly stopped cooperating. Christopher Vaughn said he last saw Victoria walking away angry. But the footage said something else. In a small operations room in Delaware, Detective Matthew Holloway watched the same clip over and over. Victoria entering the study building at 11:09 p.m. Head down. Mentos gum in hand. Texting someone who never replied. Then something changed. Christopher appears on camera. Not inside the building. Outside. Waiting. Not calling her name. Not rushing. Just standing still like he already knew she would come out. Jessica Monroe was called in to identify Victoria's last known routine. Her voice shook when she said, "She never left alone when he was nearby. She just stopped fighting it." That sentence changed everything. Then the lie collapsed. Christopher told police, "We argued. She left first." But the timestamp showed Victoria stayed inside the building for 22 minutes after he claimed she had left. She never walked away from him. She walked into something else. But one detail didn't match. Security review found Christopher's phone briefly switched off during that exact window. Not lost signal. Not weak battery. Off. And when it came back online, it was already moving away from campus. Christopher said he never touched her phone. But Victoria's final message was already gone. In a quiet forensic room in Delaware, Detective Matthew Holloway watched Jessica Monroe break down during questioning. Not from fear, from realization, because Victoria didn't vanish without a trace. Someone cleaned her silence. Her phone records showed something unnatural. Messages between Victoria and Christopher weren't just missing, they were selectively deleted. Only the ones sent after 11:30 p.m. Everything before that stayed intact. As if someone knew exactly what to hide. Sarah Bennett confirmed Victoria never deleted conversations. Not once. Even arguments stayed on her phone for months. So who removed the last conversation? Then investigators found it. A fragment of a message buried in backup logs. Victoria had typed, "I can't keep doing this anymore." Stopped mid-sentence. No reply was recorded. No closure. Just interruption. Christopher's alibi began to fracture. He said he was alone the entire night, but his phone data showed movement toward a wooded service road in Delaware, exactly when Victoria's final signal disappeared. And for the first time in the investigation, Detective Holloway stopped speaking, because silence had finally become evidence. Christopher finally confessed, but not where they expected. Because Victoria wasn't missing. She had been left somewhere he thought no one would ever look. At dawn in Delaware, search teams moved past the same isolated stretch of road Christopher had quietly visited the night she vanished. No crowds, no noise, just broken branches and wet ground that had stayed untouched for days. Then a search dog stopped, completely still. Jessica Monroe didn't speak when they confirmed it. She just dropped to her knees, because beside what they found was Victoria's unopened pack of Mentos, the same one she always carried during late-night study sessions. Still sealed, still clean, like she never finished her last normal night. Detective Matthew Holloway later confirmed the truth in a single sentence. Christopher had tried to control the story, but he couldn't control the evidence. Phone data, location trails, witness timing, everything finally aligned. No more contradictions. No more silence. Just the truth. Justice served. Christopher Vaughn was arrested after forensic confirmation placed him at the exact location during Victoria's final moments. No more shifting stories. No more denials. Only accountability. James Harper never stopped leaving the porch light on. But now he doesn't wait for a call that will never come. He waits for memory. And for justice that finally answered. Milo still sits by the door every night. Quiet. Still. Waiting out of habit. Victoria Harper's story didn't end in confusion. It ended in truth. And the silence she left behind finally spoke louder than him. Subscribe to The Veil of Secret.